There's so much misinformation involved with porn addiction. It makes it harder for someone to escape without help. If you think about it, sometimes there's even doctors that says online, oh yeah, it's good to fap to porn, and some others say, oh, you should fap like 3 to 5 times each week, and there's so much misinformation on that it's normal that some myths can happen, right? So let's discover all that together. But right before that, who am I? My name is Wesley, and my mission is to help young men, especially young entrepreneurs, with their porn addiction. Right now, I have these big missions that I need help in. I'm trying to reach the more people that I can. And my mission is to help prevent 100 men from killing themselves due to porn addiction. These are my type of videos, and if that interests you, make sure you subscribe. And do you feel like there is nothing enjoyable anymore? You're starting things, doing activities, and you feel like you're not even happy to be there. You feel like you want to be able to make friends, make relationships, but you can't approach people. You feel scared when the subject to come to talk to someone come up. You prefer staying lonely in your home and just doing your own things without talking with other people. And this prevents you from living your life to the fullest. Porn addiction. Click the first link down in the description. On that, let's continue directly with the video. So I'll start directly with the first myth. The first myth is that it's harmless. Do you really think that it's harmless? The type of videos that I make is always about how harmful porn is really. But when I do research online, sometimes it says, oh yeah, it's harmless, and even that sometimes it's great for you. So I have to pinpoint this. It's harmless, right? It's harmless, but can bring you anxiety and depression. You're consuming so much dopamine from that it makes everything else you do seems boring, and you don't get joy from anything else. So in order for you to be happy in your life, you have to continue consuming this type of content on porn, because if you don't, you won't be happy. Nothing else feels as enjoyable as watching porn for you, because you're addicted, you're used to watching porn. So that can bring you depression, and just one way for you to bring depression because of porn addiction. So yeah, it's harmless but brings you anxiety and depression. It's harmless but makes you lonely. You won't ever go and talk with your friends about your porn addiction, right? You keep it to yourself. You do it on the bathroom. You close the tab when you finish. You do it when everyone in your family is asleep, so you can be alone. You lock your room if you do it on your room. And when you finish, you came, for example, in your room, you go like on the secret into the bathroom to like wash yourself and everything, so that no one can see that you're doing it. And this prevents also you from doing great activities with friends and family, which is isolating you even more. And so yeah, harmless but creates loneliness. It's harmless, right? But if you don't do it for a period of days, you feel empty. You feel like life is not enjoyable anymore. You have no joy. You feel super stressed. And if you already tried to quit for like 2 weeks, and 2 weeks is like great. Yeah, it's not a lifetime, but for someone that was addicted and doing it every day, 2 weeks is like a great process. You just have to continue and try to reach more. But let's say it's been 14 days that you didn't fap. You're feeling distressed, and this is a stress that is normal because you're trying to quit an addiction. But when I hear people saying, oh, it helps me prevent my stress and control my stress, it does not help you control your stress. It helps you resolve the stress that it creates. Because when you're not fapping, you have this stress that you have to fap right now. And when you fap, you feel like, oh, it resolves my stress, but it didn't resolve anything. In fact, it just helped with the stress that it first created. So if you were not addicted to porn, you wouldn't feel as stressed as you are right now. And you will be way more able to control your other emotions as well and manage your problems in your life. So it's harmless, but brings depression, anxiety, loneliness, and you feel stressed. And these are all things that can bring you to removing yourself from this world. And that's like my mission. So that's why I'm trying to advertise it, right? Try to quit before it's really too late. That's what I'm really trying to do, because there's a lot of people that are removing themselves from this world because of this porn addiction. It's just not talked about. It's not talked about enough, and that's kind of sad. The second myth I want to bring up is that it's only men that suffers from porn addiction, and this is really not true. There's a lot of girls that also goes on porn sites, and even more than we can think. I made a quick research to find a study that happened, and I found a study that was made in 2021, which said that 35% of users on PH, the biggest site of porn, right, are women. 35%, that's like big numbers. And that's just for PH, but there, as you know, there is many porn sites. So how many women do you really think that there is on their sites? So I can confirm to you, it's really not only men. There's a lot of women on these sites. They're just not as much as us, but 35%, it's just 15% under the half. So like, that's really a great number, right? Way more than you could have imagined if I didn't just told you these stats, right? The third myth is that it's just about sex. I want you to explain my point of view on this. You start your porn addiction because, first of all, you just wanted to discover what was it about. You heard friends maybe talk about it, so you went online and you checked. And already at the first time you checked on a secret place, right? You didn't check that at school in front of anyone on the Wi-Fi of school, right? You waited until you get home in your room. It's late at night, so you're not even addicted anymore. You're not even addicted at this point, sorry, but you already know that you can't do this in front of anyone, right? It's like kind of taboo. You have to wait to be alone to watch this, and you're not even on the addiction anymore. And no, you're not even on the addiction at this point, but you already know that you have to be alone to do it. That's crazy. So you discover it, and first you started continuing because it was porn, right? It was sex, and you thought to yourself that you needed sex. You wanted sex, so you fought yourself because you want to have sex. But in fact, it's not even that anymore. The fact that you're continuing and that it keeps you addicted is because in your brain, it's a sort of escape from reality and a way to control your things in your life. You feel like porn resolves one of your problems. You have a problem in life, maybe it's stress, maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's depression, a type of feeling, or a big problem that always stresses you, like you have a big decision to do, and by using porn, you kind of have the solution to this problem. So you think that porn resolves your stress issues. So when you go in porn, because of the big crash you have after, you're feeling like so calm for like 1 hour. So you feel like, oh, that's the solution to my problem. When I use porn, I feel no stress anymore. So porn removes stress. So porn equals good thing. And that's the pathway that uses your brain to say to you, hey, go and fap again. And the way porn is described in your brain at this point is that porn is a supposed way to control your emotion. So when you're having too much emotion, go and use porn because this will help you control your emotion. And as I said, it's also an escape from reality, because when you're having this big decision that you have to make and this brings you stress, you will go and use porn instead of facing that problem. So it escapes you from reality. And another big thing that escapes you from reality, and that is way more common also, no, not way more common because porn is like really common, but like way more accessible for other people, is video games. Video games also escape you from reality. So porn is another type of video games in this sense, right? And this prevents you from facing your real life problems and escaping yourself into another aspect of life where you're fucking woman of your dreams inside a video. There's only 2 more myths left. The fourth one is that it's really rare. It's really not rare. As I said, just by women, like previously, it's 35%. But I found way before, like 10 years ago, a study that said that 91% of men were watching porn. And I don't know the age, that's the point. So I didn't want to pursue any further this point because I don't know the age. But if you think about it, previously I said 35% of women are using porn sites, and now 91% of men are using porn sites. These are big numbers, right? And I found another thing that said it's really not rare because approximately there's 28,000 people that are watching porn every second. Not every minute, not every hour, every second. So in like 1 minute, it's 60 seconds, so it will be 60 times 28,000. And I don't wait, I'll try to do it in my head. I think it's 1,680 or 60. Anyway, more than 1.5 million people in 1 minute. Like that, these are crazy numbers. And every second, 28,000 people on this site. Like that's crazy, right? You're not thinking about it when you're going on the site. You're just going for like maybe big max like 2 hours, and after you quit and you're done with it for maybe until next day or later in that same day. But there's constantly 28,000 people minimum on this site. Like fucked up, right? And the last myth, the one that I heard the most, is that it's just an habit. It's not an habit, it's an addiction. And there's a difference. And a habit is good for you. You think about it, brushing your teeth, maybe going to the gym, and some habits, less good habits, but still is your morning coffee. You wake up, you have to drink your coffee in order for you to live your day. I'm not drinking coffee, but I'm saying this because I met a lot of people and I know that a lot of the time you need your coffee in the morning in order for you to be productive during your day. These are habits. If you want, you can stop. The coffee one is less, it depends because there is people that are addicted to caffeine. So because they're addicted to that, it makes it an addiction. But I'm talking about someone that like every day can drink his coffee but is not addicted, right? You can stop these habits without much impact on your life. You can stop brushing your teeth, and yes, it's not really hygienic. Yes, you will have like maybe yellow teeth and it will stink a lot. But I mean, you don't have withdrawal symptoms, right? You could go maybe 2 years without brushing your teeth, and yeah, it will be really like stinky and everything, and it wouldn't be clean. But you're not having these emotional withdrawal symptoms. You're not feeling depressed because you're not brushing your teeth, right? You're not feeling anxiety or loneliness because you're not brushing your teeth. You're not feeling like life has no meaning anymore because you're not brushing your teeth. You're just going with life and continuing. You don't give a fuck if you don't brush your teeth, right? And the biggest part of that is that even sometimes there's people that goes 2 to 3 days without even brushing their teeth. And they're not there like in a in a ball and crying because they're not brushing their teeth, right? But the same thing with gym, right? You can go 1 month without going to the gym and you won't feel withdrawal symptoms. You will just maybe lose a bit of muscle, but in your head you won't feel like you're depressed because you're not going to the gym anymore. But the same is not applying to porn addiction. Your porn, you have right now difficulties quitting. You can't go a month without it, and that's just a month. I'm not even talking about a lifetime, right? Just a month. You stop this addiction, and what happens? Big depression, big stress starts creeping in, and this brings you, just keeping the porn addiction has bad aspect on your life. Trying to stop this addiction has bad aspect on your life. And the biggest point of it all, an habit, you can stop it whenever you want. If I want tomorrow I don't brush my teeth for like the next year. Yes, you can say, oh, it's really not great for you and everything, but if I want, I can. Like, I can. But the difference with an addiction is that if you want, even if you want like really a lot, you cannot. There's people that really want to quit their porn addiction and they try everything that they can to do and quit this porn addiction, but even though they try this much, they still can't. And that's why I'm making these videos, because I know that there's people that are really trying to quit this porn addiction, but they're trapped and they can't anymore. And the term trapped is important. Do you feel trapped in a habit? No, right? A habit you can escape whenever you want. If I want, I have this habit that every day I have to sleep at, for example, midnight. Well, if I want, tomorrow I sleep at 11 and I'm still super fine, right? And the day after I sleep at 10 and I'm always fine. I don't have this bad withdrawal symptoms from changing my schedule to sleep. But I'm someone who is organized, so I try to sleep every day at the same hour, because that's a habit that I want to make for myself. But porn is not a habit, because porn, if you try to quit, you will big max be able to quit like 7 days, and after 7 days, oh, you're straight back at it. And I actually want someone to prove to me that it's not an addiction, it's a habit. I want to work with someone and this person actually wants to quit for 2 months, and after 2 months he will go and use porn again because he likes porn. But he wanted to quit, so because he wanted to quit, he will go 2 months without doing it, and after his 2 months, now he will just restart. I want to work with someone that proved to me that if he wants to stop right now, he can stop, and that after stopping, he will continue and redo his addiction. That's like almost impossible. That's why I want to see it. If someone doesn't accept the fact that it's an addiction and it's not a habit, I want him to prove it to me. And I'll finish my video by saying this. So on that, take care of yourself.